This joke is heavy. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Oscar, and in today's video I just want to talk about the very first business that I actually consider a failure, and it all has to do with this hunk of metal. Now, I have started other endeavors in the past that only made a couple dollars here and there. For instance, I've tried flipping furniture to very little success. Really, the only success that I had was that I didn't lose money. I have never lost money on anything until it came to this. And what this is a little candy vending machine. Like the one you just stick a quarter in, you get your candy and you walk away. Pretty good. Now, I first stumbled across the idea of buying one of these machines when I first started learning about passive income. And the idea of being able to make money without having to directly work for it astounded me. So I started to research how I could make passive income, but most of what I found required me to be at least the age of 18, except for one. The one idea I found with my very limited research that had no age restriction was vending. I was watching people on YouTube make tons of money every single month just with a few hours of work every month. So I started to wonder,
why don't I do this too?
If only I knew what was to come. So after about 2 weeks after I initially learned about what vending was, I went out and bought 3 different machines. 2 of them was this bad boy at about $200 each. That includes the machine and plus shipping. But the third machine that I found was this big boy right over here. That one was a full-size snack and drink machine. That one I was able to get for $300, which it was so cheap because it couldn't actually cool any of the drinks inside, and it was also missing a couple of the coils. But I still figured, hey, I could probably still use it for even just the snacks, and that's what I did. So these 2 I bought straight off the bat, but the third I didn't buy until I had a location for it before I even paid for it. So just a little background on my brother-in-law. He's a barber, and he's the guy I go to cut my hair every couple weeks. So what I did is I went to the barbershop that he was currently at, and I asked the owner if I could put the big size one in the shop. So after he agreed to let me put the machine inside the shop, I messaged the seller and I bought the machine a couple days later. So I'm just gonna put a running total up above. Currently, with just the machines, I had spent about $700. That's $200 for each small one. I had 2 of those, that's $400, and then $300 for the big size one. So I went out and bought the snacks. I spent about $70 on chocolate, about $22 on pastries, $26 in chips, $22 in gumballs, and $18 on M&Ms and Skittles, as well as about $10 for the 3 labels of the nutrition information. So all of that came out to about $868. But I was feeling good. I already had a location for the big one. My parents own a little convenience store, so I put one of the small ones in there. The only thing is that I still hadn't found a third location for this thing. And as you can tell, I never did. So I was feeling pretty good because I had a pretty good start. I found 2 locations, was still working on a third.
But then,
exactly 1 week after I put the large machine in the barbershop, I got a call. This call was to remove the vending machine from the barbershop. So apparently there were 2 owners of that barbershop. The guy I talked to, he was completely cool with it, but the second guy didn't want it in the shop. So I went to pick it up exactly 1 week after I got the location. I paid the guy his share because we agreed upon a certain percentage. I can't remember what it was. But then I went around driving for a couple days looking for another location, but I just was so stressed that I gave up looking for it and I just put it up for sale. I ended up selling the machine for $300, the same amount I paid for it, and I was beyond relieved just to get rid of it. But now the problem was that I still had almost all the snacks left. So at the time, I was also selling candy at school, so I was able to sell most of what I had through that way. But the rest of it, I either just had to eat some of it or toss it away because no one else wanted to buy it. So after that, it pretty much got rid of all my motivation to try and look for a location for this one. So it's pretty much just been collecting dust in my closet for several months now. I really got to do something with you. So even with selling the big machine at $300 and most of the snacks that were inside of it, I was only able to get back about $350, maybe even $400 at most. So even after selling all that, I was not able to recoup $470 of my initial investment, meaning I lost $470 on this failed business. So if you're thinking about dipping your toes into the vending game, this was my experience. You might be able to make it work for you, but I was unable to. I probably would have been able to if I just applied myself a little more and gave it a little more effort, but I just really didn't have it in me at the time. So I hope you guys enjoy this kind of different style of video. If you guys did, go ahead and drop a like button down on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And if you really liked it, maybe even consider subscribing. I release videos on personal finance and personal development every week. So if you'd like to stick around for that, you're more than welcome to. And with that said, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next week with another video.